What's up, bone ponies? We're back here again. Tabletop Totality. Tabletop Totality. I can't speak. Playing some Symbaroum. We're getting into our next session. Session 3. Starting with a little spider hunt. But first, let's introduce the players along the internet table. Starting with my tendies.
Steven?
Cody.
And then a person who I've known for at least a year.
At least a year.
No longer. 1 year minimum.
Minimum of
Yeah,
1
no
year, no longer,
Yeah.
no less. Time
Yeah.
never continues on after that year.
No longer, no less.
It's exactly 1 year.
It's exactly 1 year.
Mm.
It's like to the milliseconds.
Mm.
Yeah, we got Robert here. Thanks for coming back again, Robert.
Aw, baby.
Where we left off, our adventuring party was the PTA, also known as the Pendleton's Adventuring Division. They dropped the D because it makes the acronym sound weird.
Bad.
Cat.
I love it. Neil just made executive decision halfway through.
Yeah. I was gonna drop that.
No, I'm pretty sure I said that in the beginning half. But they have accepted a quest from an old man and a bunch of Thurgiists to take them through the forests of Davokar as we look at our map. Oh, it's a little blurry. It'll focus in. Don't worry, folks. As they adventure from the town of Thistlehold all the way into the deep dark depths of Davokar. And yeah, I'm pretty good when I want to be. Well, actually, I'm not even trying. It just happens.
Hey, Nielzy, I would like to mention that these wonderfully crafted maps are made with Incarnate, and you crafted this one, and it is available on our Patreon as a public post.
Yeah.
Sure
So if you'd like to get a hold of this bad boy and use it in your games, you can.
Yeah. And it won't have that blue circle or red X on it, so that's a plus. Or a minus. I don't know how you feel about that.
Well, those come standard. They're yours for the price of $9.99.
Yeah, that's actually DLC content. It's, yeah.
Yeah, and this isn't...
It's the sticker.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this isn't just a map that was just randomly made. This is actually a recreation, a one-to-one recreation of the actual Symbaroum map that is in the book that Neil recreated in Incarnate, which is incredible.
It took time.
So,
but I did the best I could. The map in the book is absolutely amazing, and I couldn't capture every quintessence of it. But I believe I captured my quintessence of creation.
You did a fantastic job.
But anyway, the party has accepted to travel to lead the Thurgiists through the forest and into the depths of Davokar, where there is ruins that have been discovered of a long-lost temple. Our adventurers have now been 4 days, 3 nights, about to be the 4th night, in the wood, after crossing a river, and one individual losing 8 days of rations, for the whole group. They have
talk about that.
decided to set up camp, but sadly, where they stopped to set up camp held a devastating amount of spiders. The party had to decide, all right, depending on how many people they pull with them to fight out as the fighters, it'll leave the caravan with less people to fight. Do they stand around and pretty much they decided to pull 3 individuals from the caravan. Those individuals, if my notes are correct, was 2 hunters and a fighter, leaving the Church of Prios people and many other fighters to be able to defend the caravan as you guys thrusted yourself forward into a bigger bulk of spiders, spider-looking creatures, I should say. As you got here, spiders have now surrounded you out of the trees, which you believe to be because it is the twilight of the day, so it is the hardest time to be able to see things as it's switching from daylight to dark light, because dark light's how you say nighttime. And
when you find yourself in Davokar.
yeah. And
You know what Ambrian saying.
well, yeah, that's the Ambrian way. But the tree canopies you cannot tell housed the homes of these spiders, and now they are what you guys would know, kind of what kind of spiders these are. They are some etterheads, a very common spider to be found in the forest. They're not really like these smaller ones are really not that big. They have very long arms, but their body is about the size of just a little bit bigger than a fist.
Gross.
If
I'm already
anybody
disturbed.
at this point in time, and there is one bigger one that is now dropped behind you guys.
Right, there's the big girl.
That one is more of a size of a large dog. Like its body is more that size. And it looks dangerous. If anybody in the party possesses a certain ability called like beast lore or anything of that nature, it could be helpful for you, and I will allow you to make a roll right now before combat even starts. For those at home, beast lore is very helpful because you can identify like the weaknesses of creatures, what they're capable of, things of that nature, to be able to aid your party. But I honestly don't think if anybody here does have that.
No, Ease would be the only one that I could think of that would.
Alrighty. So, what we will do now, since we are entering combat, we will go through the aspects of the beginning aspect of combat, which in some systems is initiative. This system uses your quick modifier. So, everybody, does anybody have a quick modifier of a 5? Do you have a quick of 15?
I technically am able, so my character with the tactician ability allows me to use my cunning in place of quick.
Okay.
So technically my quick is only a 10, but with my cunning's a 15, so.
Okay, so you have a 15.
Yep.
So these guys. And remind me what your character's name is, Robert?
My character's name is Lil John J. Jameson, but you can call him JJ.
Thank you. Need pictures of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Does
He's the Green
anybody?
Goblin.
Yeah. It's so mind-breaking.
That's a real stretch.
Does anybody have a 14 to their quick?
9.
Nope.
Oh, actually, Robert, I am going to need you to do a
Big.
I think you need to roll a d20.
Okay. Am I rolling to beat something?
It will be no plus or minus. I gotta see who goes before, if you go or somebody else, because you have a tie and a quick against somebody else.
I rolled a 19, so that's
pretty
horrible.
good.
Oh wait, is it good in this game or is it lower better? I don't remember.
Usually lower better, but I think we're just gonna do whatever was higher because that was in my mind for just this roll.
Okay. I was like, oh yeah, 19. Wait, is that a bad thing? Oh crap.
No, it is a bad thing. But we were just kind of doing a roll off, so I was gonna take whoever got higher.
A roll off, okay. Man, we could have played some intense music.
We don't have the money for music unless you want to sponsor us a
Roll
musician.
2. Rolling in the streets.
Rolling in the streets. All right, so anybody have a 13 for their quick?
No.
Oh my god, how slow are you people?
I got a 12, but I'm like a 57-year-old man.
I've got a 10.
Fucking
Hey,
Beefcake
yeah.
Steve. Can't even move.
Beefcakes.
Yeah, but, I mean, yeah.
It's show muscles, you
I'm
know?
big. I'm a
Yeah.
big boy. I can't move, but I can
Where?
hit more
Yes.
earth.
He's like the mountain. You just don't want to get in his range because if he grabs you, he'll just pop your
True.
eyeballs.
He'll
into
pop
your
you and cross your skull. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Exactly.
normal stuff.
Still bitter about that.
Well, this is why you don't gloat until the person's dead.
Well,
Just saying.
hindsight is 2020.
Is
right?
in his skull.
Yeah. He's got no sight.
Hindsight is he's looking out the back of his head now.
Yeah.
So the two archers are green tokens here, which one says Veem and one says Garant.
Is the hunters, right?
And those are the hunters. And then Pendleton is the fighter that you guys have with you.
Pendleton Jr.
It's not
Which
actually
is not Pendleton. If he was here, it would be all over already.
game over.
But the first person in combat is Little J. Jamison.
Little John. All right, let's do it.
So, for those at home, this is the way combat kind of breaks down. You know, each combatant ends up having, so after initiative orders figured out, which we just did, takes a little bit of time when you don't when you have to jump through 3 different books, but we got there. But after your initiative order, you go into, each combatant has 2 actions, 1 move action and 1 combat action. Your move actions, you're just kind of, there is no really like movement speed in this system. It's roughly, all right, can I reach it this turn? Yes or no. And that is the decision of the overlord to how things are laid out. I do like to give a pretty close visual representation of what it is laid out there. But it's nice because it's a mechanic that you don't really have to get caught up in, right? You go, yeah, that's about close enough. Or I'd imagine this combat to be, you're within running distance at this creature, you can make it. So
yeah, I would just like to add, I just think that Symbaroum does a good job of not really restricting you with things like that.
Yeah, they give
you're not confined by a certain speed. Like you can make it whatever works for your game.
Yes. Yeah. And it gives you, I think, a good set of guidelines, right? Just drop the pen cap, sorry. It gives you a good set of guidelines to follow, and we're all about the guidelines. They're not so much rules. They're, oh, hey, if you follow this, you'll have a good time. But also make it your own. So, you can move into melee. You can try and flank an enemy, which gives you, a +2 modification to any success test and deals an additional 1d4 of damage. You can move around the enemy, so that's you just circling, so maybe you can get out of the way. Or, trying to distance yourself. That may give your enemy a free attack against you. There is a disengage aspect where you can get out of melee combat. You can, move to try and get your line of sight if you're doing a range or spell casting thing where you need to be able to see them, but maybe they're hiding against something. Drawing a weapon is also kind of considered one of these movement actions. So, but I would play that in the aspect of like a surprise attack, right? There's gonna be like you guys, these spiders have been falling down. They were screaming around. You prepared yourself and you rushed in. So your weapons, your primary weapons would be drawn right now. But say you needed to switch weapons, that would take a movement action. If for some odd reason somebody knocked you prone, getting back up to your feet, you would end up having to use your movement action or drinking, applying elixirs, drinking or applying liquor,
Apply that liquor.
that's like using an item or an equipment thing. That would be a movement action. Combat's pretty simple, you know what I mean? You're either attacking, maybe you're activating an ability or a spell, maybe you're doing first aid onto somebody. You can do like what the equivalent would be like to a dash aspect in Dungeons and Dragons, where you instead of using your combat, you use it as an additional movement. Or the combat action. So if you were using it on yourself, that's a movement action. But say you were forcing somebody to drink something on an ally, that would be your combat action. So like if you ran to somebody and then wanted to give them something,
Potion.
yeah, that would be
You need
that.
to feel better.
So that is part 2 of combat, where we currently sit with Robert.
Okay.
So this is the layout.
So roughly, how far am I from this big mamma jamma spider?
25 to 30 feet.
Okay.
It's pretty close.
Okay. Then I want to launch an arrow and take it my Quillionaire, and I'm gonna hit him. Try to hit him with my Quillionaire.
Alrighty then. So now we go into the next part, which is defense / attacking. So each attack that's made can be met by a defense. So usually it's whatever the aspect that you're attacking in, which I believe right now is for you accurate, Robert, because you're using a bow.
Correct.
So it's going to be your accurate versus their defense. Or if somebody was attacking you, it would be your defense against their accurate. The way Symbaroum does this is I will actually modify Robert's accurate roll. Because as we saw prior during the adventure out here, how skill checks kind of work, or ability checks and things of that nature, it relates to one of your abilities, your ability modifiers. Sorry, that is the wrong terminology, but it would relate into your accurate, your cunning, or your discreet, depending on what you're doing. So Robert's accurate. What's your accurate score?
5.
So it's a 5, which means Robert would have to roll the d20 and get a 5 or lower to be successful. But because he is now attacking this giant spider, large dog-sized spider, it would go against this creature's defense. So Robert, to succeed, you need a 1. You need to roll a 1.
So let's break this down a little bit.
To break
So
that
what
down,
you're really saying is I have a -4.
You technically have a -5, but
so I have
a 1 is a critical
success,
and it automatically succeeds.
Okay, so that's important to know because the next thing here is even though my accurate is only a 5, my goblet longbow has the quality precise, which gives it a +1, gives me a +1 to my attack. So technically it would be a 6 accurate, but then I get the -5, so it's still going to be a 1.
Still would be a
But
1.
I wanted to just like
Yep.
preface that your weapons have different qualities that can factor in.
Exactly. So
Okay, so it's coming in dragon scales.
I can't find a link in its armor.
Yeah, he's lost the scale of his right. You know, it's just scale.
It's scaled
I
right
need
on
a
its-
black arrow. All right. I rolled an 8, so unfortunately that is not a success.
That arrow goes and the spider just kind of like drops its
It flies
body
off
down
of the spider.
and
Oh.
the arrow goes flying.
Okay. Well,
And
after that,
it just moves its mandibles ready now, knowing who it's going to attack.
ooh, it's moving his mandibles. I like that. So, with my movement action, I'm going to sheathe my bow and pull out my long claw daggers, and I'm going to be. You want to dance, pretty spider?
Alrighty. So with that would count up all of Robert's actions. So thus it is the end of his turn. Now it is the hunting spider's turn.
Wants to dance. I told you.
Oh.
Jesus is what eats me. Like,
And since little John J. Jamison shot an arrow
Don't
at
you
it,
underestimate him.
he the spider is believing this is his victim. So now we are on the other aspect of combat. Robert, you will now have a defense roll.
Okay.
So, because Symbaroum is focused on the players doing a majority of the rolling, so the Overlord, myself, does not have to. So it is going to try and bite you. And bite you hard. You will have a -3 to your defense roll. So the way this works is, Robert, what is your current defense?
So my current defense. I guess we could talk probably a little bit about how defense works, right? So defense is based on your quick score,
Yep.
right? So my quick is a 10. However, I have the ability tactician, and at the adept level of tactician, I can use my cunning check in place of quick for my defense scores.
Gotcha.
So with that, my replacement is my cunning is a 15. So that's, I think, the first part.
Yes.
The second part is armor and shields, right? So
Armor, shields, equipment, anything of that, because there's many different things that can end up impacting your defense positively
Right.
or negatively.
right. So we started from the 10 with the quick, but moved to 15 due to my cunning.
Tactician, yep.
I have a chain mail leather armor blend that has the quality flexible. And so normally it would be a -2, but because of the flexible quality, it's a -1, which drops my defense to a 14.
So that's a
And then
medium armor then, correct?
Or
is that still
I think it's a light armor because it only gives me a -1. Then I have
because of the flexible trait. Naturally, it would be a -2.
Oh, if it's medium as a -2?
Yes.
Okay, then maybe it's a medium armor, and I just
We
don't
would have to
remember.
double check, but so for those at home, your different tiering of armor has different minuses to you. That's pretty much what I wanted to
Essentially, your
preface.
armor slows you down. You're not as nimble, right? So yeah, so I have the flexible quality, which makes it a little easier to move, but I still get the -1 from the armor.
Yep.
And then I am wearing a buckler, so I get a +1 to defense because I have a small shield attached to my arm. And then because one of the reasons I switched out my bow for my daggers is they're both parrying daggers, with the quality balanced that give me a plus to defense each. So I get a +2 to my defense from those. So my defense is sitting at a 17,
Pretty
I
high.
believe.
Pretty high. So your defense is a 17. It will have a -3 to that. So
Right.
you will need a 14 or lower to succeed on your defense. If he
Oh, God.
fails, it will bite him.
Okay. So I rolled a 20.
So we
All
now
that defense for nothing.
It is the spidering.
we
The spider just looked at me and was like, "I just pissed my pee pants."
I got this thing. I got this thing. Oh no. No, I
And that
don't.
spider yelled at me, "Emery just peed in my pants."
So what happens now? We are
It's a
playing.
critical failure. Fuck.
Yes. So we are playing with the optional rule of critical failures. Now, I say this as an optional rule because it is technically something that they have written in the rules, but they say, "Oh, you can decide to have this or you can decide not to." So
It's a spider's life for me.
a
No-ho.
fumbled defense, because this is, in the eyes, your character,
Slipped on spider poop.
yeah, pretty much either slipped on something, its own piss, we're not sure. Couldn't get the daggers out, something kept you from being able to properly defend against this attack. Which
Never did get to change my pee pants.
now allows, because the way again the game works is roughly the overlord is not supposed to really roll for anything, so it'll give me a lot of pluses or minuses to rolls, or it'll be pluses to damage output. So this creature does an additional, what would be considered like a d6 of damage to Robert's character, as its bite
Gross.
sinks in
Yeah, we'll see how far it
Jeez.
sinks.
to his flesh, or his armor soaks up that damage. So if you want, while I'm getting a number together for what it deals you,
Yeah.
if you want to roll your soak die. And so the way we were talking about it, armor slows you down, but the more, the higher tier of armor, even though it slows you down more, the idea that it can take that damage, so it soaks it instead of the damage being dealt to you. So Robert will now roll a soak die for his armor.
Yeah. So
and
I
see
have
how much he can take off.
my armor gives me 1d4, but I also have the ability Survival Instinct, which gives me a permanent, at the adept level, permanent plus 1d4 to armor. So I actually have 2d4. I went very strong on the defense side because I have no hit points, and obviously it's all failing me. So
Well, that's
we're
why
gonna see how.
Yeah, that's why you did the
bad.
higher armor.
Yeah, well, it's first battle and I'm already dead, right? So
That can happen. Symbaroum's a cruel, cruel mistress.
yeah, it is a cruel, cruel mistress.
Cool mystery.
All right.
So I rolled a 4 and a 3, thank God, on my armor abilities.
So all in all, you're telling me you got
A 7. Correct.
Okay. Can I not?
Please,
find-
Mr. Spider, don't bother me.
So you will. Ooh, now I have to look up one thing. Because you successfully soaked. Okay. So
Describe the scene, Neil.
the spider scurries up as the arrow goes flying past, And as you see the spider starting to scurry up, you're like, oh, all right, here's the parrying daggers. And you just kind of, when you go to, center yourself to be able to properly defend against, you kind of like slip on a small rock. Your left foot just slips. And the spider comes in and it bites onto a shoulder of your chainmail. But its teeth and its mandibles just get caught in the linkage as it kind of just like rips a couple linkages off instead of your flesh. As you successfully, luckily, soak all of the damage.
Ooh, okay, thank God.
You want to dance the salsa, Spidey Queen?
So after their turn, it is going to be the hunters. So each of them. So this lower one is actually going to, as they were paying attention forward, they're each going to attack one of these. I just got to write some numbers down real quick. So what what we'll do here is I'll have you guys actually just roll for them, and I'll do their math, if that works out for you.
Sure.
So for the archers, the hunters, each one of them is going to target one of the smaller spiders to the right here. So the one named using the Plex card of Pendleton will attack this, and then them down here will attack the right one. So Cody, if you want to give me a roll for this archer to see if its arrow hits.
Just a straight die roll.
Yep, it'll just be a d20, and I will do the math for you. As
You don't have to do very much math.
No, not much math at all. As it just needs to,
especially on a 20.
Oh boy.
No, their whole part is just taking it.
Yeah, here we go.
Everybody's fumbling.
No.
So this
Time
is
to get off the ship.
We're just some niños. We got to get our wiggles out. It's cool.
This is going to be a very short session.
Scene.
See.
And that's how you do a TPK in Symbaroum.
That'd be the best TPK because Neil literally did nothing to actually TPK us. We just TPK'd ourselves. Like, maybe that's the cool thing about Symbaroum is like you could be the GM and really like if you fail a success, it's on you because you rolled the dice.
Yeah, it's pretty much on you. Yeah.
So since it's a ranged attack, fumbling is a little bit more interesting this way because normally if you fumble your attack, whatever you're attacking would get a free attack against you. So it would, because it's kind of, you messed up, you left a big opening in your defenses, and now that person's going to attack in. So actually what we're going to kind of do this as, since it's ranged, and this is kind of my ruling on it, it's nothing I'm getting out of the book, I'm going to allow this creature to move. To either, get close or anything like that, but it's not going to be able to attack. So it's actually... This archer just keeps fumbling with its bow, which allowed the Etterhead herd to come up and close in that distance. Steve, I will let you roll for the next archer as it goes to try and attack, and you're looking to get below a...
Steve gets a 1, I swear to God, the world is turned upside down.
A 10 or below.
Well, I rolled a 5, so...
He did it! He got a hit?
He actually got a hit? Wow.
So, you will be dealing...
It's not a character he made, guys. Calm down. Settle down.
You're using the token of a character that I made.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
No, it does to me.
So,
Robert.
Cody, what you're telling me is the world is still okay for right now.
Yeah.
For right now, yes. It's not outreach. No, the void has not come to claim us all. Not
Robert,
yet.
you have a longbow, correct?
I do.
What's the damage die for that?
It is D6, I want to say. D8.
D8.
Right, D8.
So Steve, if you want to roll me a D8 for damage.
All right.
As this arrow pierces into this fist-sized spider.
Well, that's a 1. So there you go. There's your 1.
Okay.
There it is. There's the Steve we all love.
And it kind of just like this arrow just kind of grazed one of the legs of the spider. As you see, it's like greenish blood just kind of like start dripping out, and it hisses at you.
What does it do? Wait, what does it do, Neil? I don't think we can pick that up. You got to get a little closer to the microphone. What does it do?
Yeah, your noise gate is canceling that out completely.
Yeah, it's completely canceled. But it's really funny to watch your video.
It's really funny to watch you go.
But yeah, it pretty much hisses and moves its little mouth mandibles as it's pissed off. So it is now their turn. The mini spiders.
Mouth mandible baby.
Ooh, somebody's getting doubled. Gross.
So they see big old thick boy Steve, and they come up there to get a slice of that ham.
How many C's are in that thing?
I think at least 4.
Oh.
They want to flank, man.
So Steve bang.
That's me.
They are attacking you. You will have a -5
Oh
to
boy.
your defense roll.
Oh boy.
As these spiders are extremely accurate with their bites.
Can I use my buckler to increase my defense at all, or?
So your buckler.
It's like the Neepers all over again.
It's the Neepers! For those who don't know, I guess I use this voice a lot for creatures of this size. Your buckler, as Robert was kind of explaining before, will give you a +1 to your defense.
Well, give me a +2 because I have shield fighter.
I don't know. Will it, Steve? These are things that you have to tell the folks at home.
Well, I'm telling you right now because I have the ability shield fighter.
Is it
gain a +2 defense with a shield.
Is that novice, adept, mastery? What
It is adept. It is an adept ability.
Alrighty. So it makes it a 2. Does it do anything else, the shield fighter?
Nothing applicable to defense.
That's not what I asked.
It allows me to increase my sword damage by 1, and it also gives me a +1d4 shield bash after an attack, which they would have to perform a strength contest against me or be knocked down.
Solid.
Wait,
that's pretty
so
decent.
after you attack or after the spider attacks you?
I believe it's an attack that I have to perform. I believe I have to initiate the shield bash. Let me look at
shield
that.
bashing.
I think that's right. That makes sense. So essentially, you would attack with your shield, right?
Yeah, it's shield fighter, so it would be me attacking.
It's kind of
with the
like
shield.
if your attack lands, it would be almost like equivalent of like what a bonus action would be. You get to shield bash them.
Steve, I'm gonna call it the buckler backhand.
Hell yeah!
Unlike
backhand.
Let me see.
Unlike 5th edition, Symbaroum was hooking it up with the buckler.
It doesn't even have a buckler in Wizards.
Yeah.
You disappoint me.
Yes, I'm looking at it right now. I have to initiate the
okay,
shield
so it's
bash
on a
attack.
successful attack. You can then also bash.
I can
and then it would be
strong...
a strong. No, is it you perform a strong just to see if you knock them down? Or
It's a contest. It's a strong versus strong contest.
Yes, but hear me out. Is that just to see if you knock them down?
Yes.
Or is that also to do the 1d4?
It's after, let me read it. The damage of the shield bash is 1d4, and should the character make a successful test against strong versus strong, the target is also knocked to the ground.
It's what I thought. We're good.
Yep.
Alrighty.
So it's a -5, but then a +2, so it's really a -3.
Yeah.
All right.
For your
so
defense, what's your defense?
It's a 9, so I have to roll a 6.
Okay.
That's a 2.
So you successfully defend the first one coming at you, and now a second one attacks you from the side.
All right, let's get it going. And that's a 5.
So you successfully were able to defend yourself against the two. Now we turn the camera lens over to quite an old wizard.
Oh.
Cody, you are being attacked as well.
Are you referring to my character or just myself?
Both. Into the action. An old wizard attacked by an other. Cody.
It's the wizard. It's the spiders.
It's the spiders. I'm the wizard.
Yes, I'm the wizard. It's this.
If you want to roll me up a defense with a -5, as again, they are very accurate, nimble little spiders. But Cody, what does your defense look like? Yes. Yes.
Jumping around tree to tree, all nimbly bimbly.
Yeah.
Tell me what your defense is right now.
Isn't it my quick?
It would be your quick. Yep. Your quick plus whatever equipment or abilities impact that.
Okay. Yeah, so I have basically a 13 defense because I get a +1 from my buckler, and then my cloak is just a soak. It doesn't give a bonus to defense.
So you will roll.
I have to roll an 8 or lower, right?
8 or lower, yes. Will you do it? Will Cody survive?
Oh, that's a 6.
Don't roll a 20.
He did it. So, as much as the combat aspect of this encounter is going for the party, the defense portion is much better, as both Steve and Cody have defended against their attackers. Now, I will have Robert, if you can roll for the hunter who's getting attacked. Your
Let's do it.
defense will be a 13 -5, so you will have that 8 or lower.
11.
Ooh.
Don't ask me to roll defense rolls today, apparently.
The hunter, as the same one that fumbled its arrow shot, just the spider comes up and latches right on, and takes a good bite. So,
do you have any soak? Do I soak it?
It will be a D4 of soak.
Okay. 3.
Oh. You're good at soaking, so you may not be able to dodge it.
I'm soaking wet, baby.
You're
soaking wet.
soaking. So the spider bites in and just rips off what looks to be a piece of flesh until it spits it back onto the ground, as it is a hard piece of leather that was ripped off from the person's armor.
Hey, look on my blouse.
Look on my blouse. And then Steve, just because I kind of been doing a circle with you guys, I will have you roll the defense of the fighter who is currently being attacked. The defense of the fighter will be... Ooh. Yeah. A 13. So minus the 5, you too will have to get an 8 or lower.
Oh, that's a 12.
Ooh, it is again coming in for that bite. Now you will have to roll a soak. It is a D4 soak.
Spider's getting all nimbly bimbly on me.
Yeah, where's it gonna bite?
Oh, and that's a 1.
Oh! So the spider comes up and it fakes going up, and then it does, like, you know, daddy long legs, how they kind of like bounce.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it looks like it's going for a high bite, and then it just drops down and takes a bite out of his calf. As
Or a UFC level change on him.
yeah, as he yells out. Actually, I think it's a she. I think this fighter is a she. Well, I'm just looking at the names. Okay. As she just lets out a scream, as she will take some damage as this spider bites in. Not only that, viewers at home, you will know that this person has been poisoned.
Oh no.
So she is going to take 2 damage. Luckily, so as we talk about damage, we will get into this aspect. Each person has a toughness, their HP. This person's toughness is indeed an 11. So they're a little bit tougher than your average person, as your average person usually has a toughness of a 10. Pretty much that's how everybody starts off. But then there is a pain threshold. Your pain threshold is half of your toughness rounded, I believe, up in this aspect. Unless I am missing.
Yes, it is. It's rounded up.
Well, I needed to make sure that the number I was going to say was good for this person. So this person has an 11. So half of it would be 5.5 rounded up 6. So their threshold is a 6. What this threshold means, if they take 6 or more damage, it will be so much pain for them. It will be such a grieving wound that they will have to kind of have to recover from it. So if you reach your pain threshold and surpass it, sometimes the creature will get another attack on you. Sometimes they drop you to the floor. It is different things. And these creatures also have that same pain threshold and toughness aspects. So this person...
Neil, what you're telling me is sometimes if you go past your pain threshold, you like to get low, like Lil Jon.
That's true. And sometimes you get knocked down and you get up again. You're never going to keep him down.
Yeah.
So and to repreface, the pain threshold is only when you get hit with that much damage or more. So it's not even if it builds up to that. Like you know, say you have this 6, you took 3, and you took 3. That won't do it for you. It's only.
Neil, I
if
think
you...
I need to make a correction though.
Yes.
So the pain threshold is not based on toughness. It's based on your strong skill.
Correct. What's your toughness based off? So this
Your
is
toughness as a minimum. Your toughness as a minimum.
This is true. This is true.
So, like for instance, your toughness is usually based on strong if your strong is above a 10.
If it's 10 or higher.
Right. So, for instance, my character's strong is a 5, so my pain threshold is a 3.
Yes.
Even though I still have 10 as my toughness, my pain threshold is based on my strong skill.
Correct. Thank you for adjusting that. So, this person has been beaten and has now suffered poison. So, for the next 2 turns, they will take poison damage unless they get treated with an antidote. To cure said poison. This, so for everybody, there's different tiers of poison. You know, it's very similar to just a regular character's ability. So there's first tier, second tier, and third tier. And I want to say it goes 2, 4, 6. So sorry, no, it's not that. It's 2, 3, 4. It's not as aggressive. So at the first time, it's 2 points of damage for 2 turns. The next time it would be 3 points, but as that stacks, so if you had poison 2, it would take 2 antidotes to cure poison 2. Because it would take 2 charges of an antidote. Where this person just currently has poison 1. Okay. So, they take the 2 damage and suffer that poison. And now it is the fighter's turn. And Robert, we'll let you control the fighter because
Wait, revenge.
yeah, because Steve and Cody did the hunters. So
Hey.
it is you. And you are right in combat with the fighter is right in combat with this thing.
I'm gonna cut him.
All right.
I'm gonna cut a bitch.
So you wield an axe as this fighter, and you also
not my prison shank.
you also have the shield fighter ability.
Ooh,
So keep that in mind. You will have that shield bash.
Okay. So I will drive my axe into this little tiny spider.
So on your roll, it will be.
I rolled a 3.
Okay, that will, I believe, succeed.
You couldn't wait to get it out.
So normally it would be a 15 minus a 3, which gives you a 12. Your 3 is within the range, and you
Nice.
succeed. So that attack. Ooh.
Take this, demon spawn!
I want to say that's a D10.
Ooh,
me
with
just-
my axe.
Double check that.
Nice. This spider ain't gonna live to see tomorrow.
To see tomorrow.
By the light of Toyota Prius.
Yeah.
By the light
Smite
of
thee!
Toyota Prius.
Your line has ended.
Yes, so it is a 1d10.
Sweet. 1d10. All right. And it's a 9. Oh,
9!
9.
Interesting. Should also be.
Take that, you spidey bitch.
So, with that,
I've been poisoned by my constituents.
with that 9, which you are fighting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh my lord.
3, 6, 9. Damn good time. Suck it to the spider
Not
one more
only
time.
would you have broken its pain threshold, you also, well, I shouldn't say you,
Warrior.
the warrior,
Xena, warrior queen.
yeah, just splits this fist-sized spider right in half, and it's just
Told you, revenge. You bite me, I bite back.
yeah.
That's what you get for poisoning me, you bitch.
I've now named my axe Spider Eater.
As that one has killed it, and I will put the note in X named Spider Eater for that fighter. And so that one is dead. You do have a movement action still.
Let's move it. I like to move it.
Where would you like to go? There is the other archer or fighter or hunter, that is currently being attacked, and then there is the big spider below that is looking menacing, about the size of a large dog.
Wait, which one am I?
You are this far right.
Gotcha. So I'm the hunter.
No, you are the fighter.
But I thought the fighter was the purple one and the hunters were the green ones.
Nope, I changed it.
Okay. Fair enough. Okay.
Neil, rewriting history over here.
Yeah.
The students knowing needs.
Revisionists.
Editor, just take out what I said before. We don't even need that. Currently, this is all
Nerds.
people need to know.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah, we don't have like another editor outside of this. It's just us.
going to have the fighter move to engage with the big spider.
The fighter
Now
drops.
armed with Spider Eater.
The fighter drops down to her knee as she breaks out a ring and tries to get engaged.
Damn. To a spider? Wow.
That's what Robert's saying.
Progressive.
Yeah.
Bro, it's 2022. Get the fuck out of the Stone Age.
Yeah, 2022. Women
Yeah.
can marry spiders. It's,
Right.
You know.
For real.
Sensual.
So
It's a sugar daddy long legs.
sugar daddy long legs.
Nice.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that our group is called Cash Money Millionaires. Can we change it to Sugar Daddy Long Legs?
It's not a bad change.
If
So
we
Cody,
survive this fight, yeah.
it is now your turn, Cody, and you have a spider just bobbing and weaving right in front of you, trying to bite you.
I'd use a dodgeball.
Dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge.
This reminds me of the time back in the old land. The spiders would come with the harvest. The only way to kill them was with fire. I'm going
Baba
to...
Boo, it makes me a pizza pie.
Yeah. Rosca will hold out his withered hand, and in this withered hand, there is this like cracked black stone. And I will use my soul stone to try to absorb the temporary corruption after I do my brimstone cascade.
Okay, so for those viewers at home, Cody just said a lot of shit. We're gonna break it down.
I'm sorry.
So
yeah, sorry.
Cody, you're using that attack action, which is your ability, Brimstone Cascade. Is that right? What
Yeah,
does that do on its own?
Okay, so I have the adept level of it.
Okay.
And basically, I have to make a resolute versus a quick test. So my resolute against their quick. And if it's successful, it deals 1d12 points of damage.
Holy shit.
If I fail the test, they take 1d6.
So either way, they're going to take damage.
Yes. And then with the secondary, with the adept level, if I succeed and they take the full 1d12, I can attempt to steer it to hit another target, and so on until I fail.
Oh, this is like Cleve from 3.5.
Yeah, it's basically just old man napalm is what it is.
I am burning this forest.
Old burning palm himself.
Yeah.
Yep.
Old burning napalm. Alrighty then. So you said it's so resolute because you're casting a spell is usually the ability to be used. And it's going against their quick. So it'll still be a -3 to your resolute.
Okay. And my resolute is a 15. Okay. So 12 and under.
Yes.
Okay. That's a 4.
You successfully hit it. So give me that. Roll that 1d12 damage footage.
Oh, that sweet D12 footage.
I want like a D12 rolling across the screen here, Cody.
I'm not that good, man.
Don't sell yourself short. You can.
Oh, yeah, that's a 10.
Oh, baby boy.
Looks like we having spider for dinner.
Yeah.
So,
I like
explain,
crispy.
explain what you the casting of the spell and how it goes about in hitting the spider.
So I would imagine that there's like just a brief little flash of light from the stone in Roska's hand, and then there's these embers start forming like out from the stone, and it's supposedly this is like it's. Oh no, that's a different spell. I was thinking that there's like a flaming servant spell, but this isn't it.
No.
But it would kind of like maybe take on like sort of like Gandalf the Grey vibes of like his smoke manipulation.
Okay.
So it's like embers, but it's like maybe like a hawk or something like flying towards the spider.
Oh, all right.
Nice.
And it just kind of like smacks into it. And as
Yeah.
as the hawk like pretty much makes contact and just like releases this eruption of like fiery brimstone, the spider just practically becomes dust. And as that
Nice.
dust settles, the
In the
brimstone
wind.
comes back into the shape of the hawk, like it went straight through the spider
Mhm.
as it goes to swoop to where.
I'm gonna try to hit the big one. I'm gonna try to dive bomb the big one.
Okay, so Cody kills that. So that is spider number 1 is just one shot dead. As you turn this over, so we have to do another resolute verse quick, I'm gathering.
Yes. Yes.
So it will be, I'm pretty sure it's a -5. But let me
Okay,
double
so I
check
gotta
that.
go 10 and
Yes.
under.
Yep, it is a -5.
Okay. That's a 7.
So you successfully hit this one too. So give me another roll that beautiful,
Beautiful beam footage.
the beautiful D12 damage footage.
That's an 8.
So you still, the hawk kind of like, as it comes together, the sound of the brimstone crackling is like a, as it swoops and does like, so it hits, it just goes up and just dive bombs straight down onto the hunting spider as it takes 8 points of damage.
And it's an active ability too, so does that mean I have to concentrate on it, right?
Yes.
So I would imagine, because I'm not familiar, but I would imagine that I hit something, I steered into another target, I didn't fail, I succeeded, so it said I could keep going, but I would imagine that for my combat, that's probably the extent of it.
Yes.
Because otherwise it would be broken. To just be like,
Yeah,
Firehawk. Like, you know?
let me just double check on that one. While I'm double checking that, normally using a mystic ability, there is some repercussions.
Mhm.
Do you suffer any corruption for using this mystical power?
So I would take 1 point from using it, and I wanted to put it into the Soul Stone because I described it that way.
What?
Did you not hear me?
What does the soul stone do though?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yep.
Here, I will.
And is the only reason why you're taking 1 point of temporary corruption because that is part of your tradition?
Correct.
Okay. So for the folks at home, normally if you were just to cast, if you had a spell and you weren't part of a tradition to be able to cast that spell, you could suffer 1d4 points of temporary corruption. But since Cody is trained in the arts of this mystic power, he can limit that to just 1 point of corruption. But now he has the item of a soul stone, which he will tell you what it does here shortly.
Yeah, I will. I just found it. Okay.
I can't believe you.
I know. So, visual that manages to learn ritual receives. Okay. So you can buy one. Counteract is evil. They dusted off an ancient and shunned ritual by which one can capture the soul of a dying creature in a crystal prepared for the purpose. The same ritual proved to work well in order to drain corruption from a wizard and transfer it to the soul in the stone. The ritual binds the mystic to the crystal, which then works as an extension of the wizard's soul. The ritual allows the mystic to move 1d4 points of permanent corruption to the soul stone. Oh, okay. So with a successful resolute quest, So I can't put it into the stone right now. I have to do it later.
It would be later. Okay.
Yeah.
So pretty
Yeah.
much the way that works is once this combat scene has ended, or which we would be most likely setting up camp after this,
Right.
you could go conduct a ritual, which if you succeed your resolute test allows you to roll a d4 and put that much of your temporary corruption into the soul stone.
Right.
I went and looked up the brimstone cascade.
I already stopped.
Yeah.
Already gonna say something.
Stop.
So I appreciate you looking out for it, Steve. But as the Overlord, Cody, there is a ruling on that, which you are technically wrong. You do continue until you fail your resolute test.
Okay.
So that is the cascading aspect of Brimstone Cascade. So
nice.
for you, because you have the adept capability, that's what allows it to be chained.
Mhm.
And it's chained until you fail a resolute test.
Damn. All right.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good
All
spell.
right.
So
All right.
you hit the creature, which I have to make a ruling on that because you broke his pain threshold.
Oh yeah. Bring in the pain. Let's go, old man.
The pain chain train.
That's right.
So, Cody, since the pain threshold is broken, but you are not in melee range, this creature gets knocked to the ground. So, like, as the hawk comes from above and just brimstone cascades it, the creature's legs kind of just break down and it falls as it like kind of curls in a little defensive position, just covered in small cuts by the brimstone. As once the brimstone kind of like mushroom clouds, like, well, not so much mushroom clouds, but it hits.
Yeah.
It's like a reverse mushroom cloud. It just starts to spread across the ground.
Yeah.
It ends up forming back up on the one side into a hawk, and it's back in the air. Who are you going to attack with it next?
I think I'll dive bomb it again because if we take it out, that'll free up 3 of us to fight the rest of these.
Correct. So, oh boy. Now you're making me look at another thing. The aspect that this creature
the modifier is going to change.
This creature is prone.
Right. Well, the fans are learning the game. You know?
Sure.
You're welcome, bone ponies.
I guess you hit it. If I'm reading this rule correctly.
Aw, yeah. Bring on the spider ring.
Yeah, so we're just going to go with the aspect since it's on the ground and it just got hit once. This spider is incapable of doing a quick roll or a quick check. Actually, you know what? It's a little... I like the probability. We're going to give it to its quick. It would get a -4. So, Cody, you only get a -1 to your resolute check.
I got an 8.
You're okay. Roll me that beautiful D12 die damage footage.
Oh, that's a 12er. That's a 12er.
You killed it twice.
Nice.
So you had done the 8 last turn. You just did it 12 for a whopping 20 points of damage. Quick math. And this thing actually turns into dust and joins in the Brimstone Hawk as it searches for its next victim.
And there's like a big screech.
Yeah, it's grown in size now.
Word. It's becoming the Brimstone Phoenix.
Yeah, the eagles.
Oh, all right, yeah. I guess I'll go for the one behind Little John.
Okay. Yep. Give me a roll with a -3.
That's a 4.
Cody's unstoppable. Roll me a d12.
This is crazy.
Cool.
And
Then I'm
folks-
just gonna be able to just sit back and not do anything this entire time.
That's 6 points of damage.
Yeah, Steve hasn't even gone. This
Yeah.
one also drops onto the ground prone, but it's still alive.
I'll double tap it.
Okay. It'll be just a flat roll.
That's a failure.
You roll.
It's a 16.
Oh my
It's above my
gosh.
resolute.
And so it'll take
Yeah.
a d6 of damage.
Yep.
As once it comes back up, you see it starting to like kind of separate as it dive bombs again into the spider with its last breath.
4 points of damage.
It is done. So once it
That's
kind of
good.
just crashes in, the spider just like it's like a splat on the ground. You know, like you smacked a bug on your arm, and then you got that like particles of the bug there. That's
Yeah.
the spider on the ground.
Nice.
Steven. Well,
That's
you can
me.
move if you want to, Cody.
I think Roscoe will just kind of be like looking around, like, you know,
Where's more?
like, yeah, like I just had a lot of success.
Where's the bad?
Yeah.
All right. So, Steve, it is now your turn. And you
All
have a
right.
spider that's right in front of you that kind of like it's focused on you, but it's also really scared because there's a hawk
Yeah,
that is flying around killing its people.
setting them on fire.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So I will take out my bastard sword and
you already
bring
have
it.
that out, but yes.
Yeah, and I will bring it down. Bring that hammer down on this buggo. and-
Gotcha. So it will be a -3 to your attack. What is your what is your ability for the
I believe it's strong.
is it?
Is it?
Is it?
Let's see.
Remember,
Uh,
folks, if you are the player, make sure you always know what happens.
I feel like it's strong.
Is it?
Wait.
Because
Are you trying to?
an
trying to look up-
ordinary attack using a weapon is normally accurate,
Okay. But
but
it's,
it has a precise feature
it does have a precise feature.
which allows you to add a +1 to the attack test. So
Yep.
as long as you do not have anything that causes it to go to strong, any ability that does that,
I don't believe that I do, so I will just. It will be a.
what abilities do you have?
What abilities do I have?
Yep. That deal
Um,
with combat besides your shield.
I have Man at Arms, which increases my armor. I have Steadfast, which gives me bonus, which gives me attempts against strength and resolute. Tactician, which Robert already explained. Robust, which increases my defense and my damage rolls.
Beefy boy.
And then I have spells.
Does robust allow you to use strength instead?
No, it doesn't.
It's just an aspect of
All right, so I'll do.
So, yep.
It'll be accurate plus
it'll be
1.
accurate. Yep, with
Right.
the -3 of the creature.
Okay, so I have to roll below an 8. That's a 4.
All right, so you
Nice.
successfully hit. So it'll
Nice.
be the damage of your bastard sword,
Yep.
which is a
1d10
D10. Yeah.
1d10 plus 1d6 plus 1 because of robust and shield fighter.
Get it.
That is 12 points of damage.
Woohoo.
Okay. You want to break down that damage for the folks at home to understand how you got to 1d10 plus a 1d6?
Sure. So I
Plus
had the one. So a bastard sword regularly does 1d10 points of damage by default. And then my shield fighter grants me a +1 damage with a sword specifically, and then an additional d6 from robust, which allows me, which is an ability that you can have if your character is very large. It reduces your quickness by, or it changes your defense to your quickness -2. It causes armor that you purchase to be twice as expensive, but you get to ignore 1d6 damage and deal 1d6 damage per turn on top of what you normally would deal.
Is that
and that's at the adept level.
Okay. Yep.
I'm pretty sure at the novice level it's
1d4.
your quick. Yeah, it's 1d4, and I think it's your quick -1.
2.
And
Your quick should be a -3 at the adept.
right. No.
So novice is -2.
Okay. All right. But yeah, so that's where the damage came from. So I just dealt it 12 points of damage with my big old sword.
And
A lot of damage.
That's a lot of damage.
You obliterate it.
I don't know
Yeah, I do.
if Flex Seal will help.
Yeah, they
I
cut
don't
the
know.
boat in half, right?
I got this spider in half.
And then I put it back together with Flex Seal.
I don't think it's coming back to life though.
It's not coming back to
Put it
life, but it might be
together.
put
No.
together. Yeah.
It can be back together. Yeah.
Alrighty. So you obliterate the spider in front of you. You now have a movement
Right.
aspect.
I will move towards the one remaining spider.
Shablam. It's the end of Steve's turn. We're back to the top of the order, which is Little John James Jamison.
Yeah. Engelheimer Schmidt.
What do you wish to do, little goblin?
Let me.
I'm a murder.
I'm a murder. If I was to use a ranged attack, is that okay? Considering that they're in full melee combat,
You have line of sight. I'll allow it.
then I will
Just,
my...
I will state that if you fumble, bad things could happen.
Okay, well, I'm going to do it anyway. So
I expect no less of you, Robert.
So I will sheathe my parrying daggers, and I will pull out my quillionaire, and I will pop him full of iron.
Would you say it's a quillionaire?
Quillionaire, that's the name of my bow.
Oh, well, that's cool.
Yeah.
Because
Like,
it has 1,000 different, well, 1,000,000 different quills.
well, they're quills, right? And it's like, you know, like chameleonaire.
Yeah.
Quillionaire.
Gotcha.
I rolled a 9, and I have to hit a 1, so I miss.
Yeah, it'll be a -3 for these ones. So you actually.
Oh, so I have to roll 2. Okay,
Yeah.
sweet. Oh wait,
Which
no, 3.
it's 3, yeah.
Yeah,
So
so I get the +1.
So is Steve's character dead now? Is that what happened?
Yeah, I
Steve?
believe it hits Steve and he just dies.
Right.
Um,
That's how it works. I don't get any.
Yeah, there's
Any,
no other rolls or.
I don't get to protect
modifiers.
myself. No,
Yeah.
I'm just
No.
head
Straight,
headshot.
straight
Steve, I'm really
areas.
sorry. It's like it's instant kill arrows.
Yeah, they're crazy.
They don't hit. They rarely hit, but when they do,
They kill it.
Symbaroum has very specific rules for how to handle
later, guys.
Steven's character.
No.
Yeah.
So now it is the archer's turn, which we have 2 of them. We will give Steve this archer. What do you want to do with this one?
He's gonna move up and around to the right, so that he has a little bit of distance between him and up, up a little more, one more, yeah. So he's gonna be right there, and then he's going to fire an arrow at the spider.
So it will be a -3 to your Okay. So you will need to roll a 10 or lower.
Well, I rolled 7.
So you
There
successfully
you go.
hit. It'll be a 1d8 point of damage.
Hooray. And that's 4.
Plus 1 is 5, because it is
Huzzah.
precise.
Hooray, I have done it. I have hit the spider and done damage to it.
And you... So this hunter actually, when it shoots its arrow, the arrow gets lodged in one of the sections that connect its leg to its body, and the spider just drops down. Oh my god, Robert's no longer in the water, but he is in... Oh my god, he's back in the water. He was in a purple
He's
space
just
before.
yeah, he's just having he's having a good time over there.
Yeah.
Hang on.
As you broke the spider's pain threshold. So
Nice.
it is now the other archer's turn, which we will give to Cody. It currently has a bow drawn. The archer possesses a sword, but keep in mind, you can only stow for one action and pull out for another action. But
which wow, which figure am I on the map?
you're Pendleton.
Oh, okay.
Which
And I have a bow drawn.
you have the bow drawn.
I'll plug it. Might as well.
That close.
Yeah, is there a penalty for
What
short
are
range?
you? Oh, actually, this archer has quick draw. I take that back. They can actually switch their weapon. But yes.
Oh, well, then I
Yeah,
will.
of course they do.
Nice.
Yeah. So then I will switch to the sword and I will step.
It's right there. It's hard to see. Not even gonna let it focus. That's quick draw.
Yeah. All right.
So,
It's right.
give me a roll. It will be a 10 or lower. Is a success, as it has a -3.
4.
You succeed, and
Word.
you will roll a d8 as the sword goes piercing into the spider.
5.
The other hunter did 5. This hunter does 5. It drops as this hunter stabs it right through its mouth, and the sword comes out the other side, and he has now a spider shish kebab.
Nice.
The spider.
As you guys kind of wrap up and you're taking in your scenes and everything like that, you hear that there's no real screaming at the caravan right now. You don't hear any signs or hear any aspects of battle. And as you come back, you would notice you guys were actually very successful.
Of course.
I'd hope so. If that wasn't very successful, I don't want to know what would be considered very successful.
A couple people got injured,
Oh no.
Yeah.
but nobody is
One of our people
Dead.
got poisoned, right?
correct.
Can I try to help that person?
Do you have stuff to help that person?
I believe I do.
And if you don't,
Do you, Cody?
John J. Goblin, Merchant Extraordinaire, probably does.
I have the Medicus ability, and I also have herbal cures, antidote herbs, herbal remedies.
So, definitely at least one of those things would cure it.
Okay.
Which one?
I'm going to say it's the antidote herb.
Yeah.
Gonna say. So now you've got a Resident Evil it. You've got to mix your red antidote herb with the green medical herb.
And they're right in the green.
That's
Yeah.
that's not how any of this works. To cure poison, it's a blue herb. Robert, why do I need to tell you this?
I don't remember. It's been a long time since I played a Resident Evil game.
Can I still use the ability, the Medicus ability, to give them back some HP?
That is only for a healing herb. Or not a healing herb, but the healing ointment. Because normally it only does like 1, but you're able to do 1d6. Alright, so hunters are alright. They're okay. They're okay. Okay. Alright. So 3 fighters are injured and 4 workers are injured. So the way I'm going to do this is there's 3 tiers of injuries. Okay? And just for brevité, I'm pretty much going to stack whoever's already injured. If you go into another area and people get injured because of it, they will be first to take an injury point. Okay? Because in the idea, they're already going to be slower, they're already going to be weaker, they're already going to be more likely to get injured. So in that aspect, you have 3 fighters who are currently injured, the one that came with you, and 2 of the others. So let me just roll some random numbers. So number 2 and number 6. Actually, that's how I'm going to do it. I'm just going to roll because I have these perfectly put out. So I'm just going to roll a D, like whatever die equals for the group, because pretty much they're equal to dies. So sorry, let me just roll these up. 7 injured, 3's injured, 3 can't be injured again, 3 can't be injured again, 2's injured. An agent. So you have 3 fighters who are injured and 4 workers that got injured during these attacks, which is, trust me, very successful, as your scouts, Church of Prios, and hunters, none of them got injured. So in that same breath, Cody, if you expend, or anybody with the Medicus ability expends healing herbs, it will take care of 1 healing herb per injured.
Well, let's go talk to the guy who got this expedition together and get him to give us some herbs so that way Cody can get to work.
Also, they can be cured by days, but it's 2 days per injury.
Well, I wanted to give the antidote to at least the person that was poisoned.
Yeah, you did that. That's that. Okay. They are still injured, but they are not poisoned.
Right, and then I have 6 herbal cures myself, but I don't want to burn them all, obviously.
Yeah, and I feel like in this part of this group, there probably should be somebody who's dedicated to healing and stuff like that. So my thought would be to find that person, and maybe they have some extra healing equipment or supplies that we could use, that Cody could use, right? So Cody could just go off and do that with the rest of the caravan.
So I will say, if you do that, it will half the cost of herbal cures.
What, so we got to pay for the herbal cures? These aren't our people. Screw them. I'm going to use my leadership ability.
But you also keep in mind, you also need to lead these people. So it's not, you are 100% that it is not your responsibility to heal these people.
Our hard-earned money.
It is not your responsibility to heal these people, but you also don't get paid if they don't successfully make it.
Yeah, but that's my point. The guy who organized this.
Correct. And there's already aspects of healing. I'm saying if you want to expedite the process, this is the cost.
Oh, so you're just saying if we want to go faster? No, I think we'll just use
Correct.
up their equipment. We're not going to use our own.
Well, you're not the one who has the herbal cures.
That's true. All right, well, Cody, I guess it's your choice.
I say keep it.
this
We could need
this
it further.
greedy merchant goblin is telling you to keep it. They are not worth it.
Mostly I'm saying it to keep it because we're not even towards the darkest parts of Davokar yet, and we could definitely need that potentially later. So using it now, maybe not the like, because I feel like everybody like they're not in like dire straits. It's not like people are gonna die.
Yes,
from
there's
this right
3
now.
injury tiers, and these people are only at 1.
Right, that's my point. Like they're at a 1 injury tier. There's not really much reason to use up our supplies when we've got to go further and could, in fact, encounter worse things.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with that as well. I can, according to the novice ability that I have for Medicus, I can use a cunning test to heal 1d4 of a patient's toughness, or 1d6 when using an herbal cure. So the 1d4 is without the herbal cure.
Yeah. So, but I
And
don't
this ability can only be used once per patient and day.
But I think the issue is that they're
Yes,
also
once per
poisoned,
patient.
right?
So here's this. Once per patient, I'll allow you to do one heal per day. And if you use an herbal medicine, it'll take 2 injury slots away from somebody. Your regular Medicus ability will take 1 person's 1 injury slot away.
Got it. Okay, that makes sense. All these people are level 1, so Cody could just use his Medicus ability, and that 1 would go away. If they were level 2, Cody would have to use Medicus plus supply, and
Correct.
then if they were at 3,
you could only get them to 1.
Sacrifice them to Prios.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't. I would just realize
it's too far gone.
Yeah, I just know that the void is coming to take them.
So if you wanted to use your Medicus ability on the person that you that also fought with you.
Yeah, that's what I want to do.
Okay, so give me that test then.
Okay. That's a 7 out of 14.
Okay, so you succeed. So
For the people at home that are wondering why I'm being so quiet, Gar big ogre, Gar hit thing with sword, Gar no heal. So that's what I bring to the table in terms
Bard's writing up medical contracts for health insurance.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's doing the HIPAA law.
Have your people insured?
Yeah, don't take any healing from anybody unless you're insured.
Yeah, exactly.
Otherwise, they can steal your whole house. Okay. So that would be. I'll say that's your nightly thing. Is anybody else doing anything? Steve covered what he's doing. You guys, now that you've gotten back to your caravan, you're pretty much gonna set up shop. To camp.
Yeah, I'd like to ask. I'll ask Gar a question actually while we're like chilling by the fire.
Yeah.
Okay. You walk up to him while you're chilling by the fire.
Yeah.
Awkwardly, I presume.
Yeah. So Rashka, his cloak is like a little bit too big for him. He's pretty skinny old man. The cloak is all tattered, but it's marked with all sorts of like purple and red like magic symbols that are in the cloak. And he would just be like, "You were with these Prios people for some time. Do I have that correct?"
Yes.
And did you believe in their god of sun?
Studied more for the resources provided by the holy men than for purpose of belief. They had books of law and other things that are harder to come by for one such as myself to obtain normally, which is why Gar studied with them and spent time with them and learned their ways.
What if I told you that these laws were not the real laws of the universe?
Well, laws I learned are laws of man. So
Gar.
you mean laws that I learned for writing up documentation are different from metaphysical law of things of universe. Yes.
No. Listen. I just want you to be careful with the item that you are given. Okay. I do not believe that everything is as it is said by these Prios. And in my experience, I know better. Be careful with that thing.
That cricket has given a lot of good ambience to this scene.
The cricket outside my house?
Yeah, it's doing well.
Nice. Thanks, cricket. Thanks, Jiminy.
I mean, Gar lived with Prios people for some time, and I'm aware that not all of them are to be trusted. I am aware of this, yes.
And then Rashka will just kind of like puff on his pipe and then just kind of awkwardly walk away into like more of like the shadows. Yeah.
Good talking to you. Goodbye.
Robert, you were currently climbed in a tree. I figure that's pretty goblin-esque of.
I'm the tree eating mushrooms.
No, I'd be like, Neil, this is so, like, really, I can't believe you've done this. I'm a leader. I would be telling people what to do out in the rest of the camp, building the fires. You put me in a tree. How dare you?
I am a leader, Neil.
Yeah.
You remember what your leading led you to?
Huh? My leading was fine. Okay? Somebody who dropped their soap in the river is not my problem.
You can lead from on high in the tree while eating a haunch of meat.
Yeah,
like a
so-
goblin.
So essentially, my leadership chair is in the tree now, huh?
Could be. Depends on where you want it.
So
My dictates.
yeah. You guys set up, you have your conversation, and that will be the end of this scene. So, with a scene ending, folks at home, you award experience now. So, the previous sessions, I didn't feel like it was a scene. So a scene could last more than a couple sessions. It could only be one session. But the first scene was them joining up with the caravan that they have to lead, them going through parts of Davokar and their first encounter. So you award experience at the end of a scene. This scene, I would kind of award you guys. It wasn't anything too crazy. I'll give you guys like 3 experience points each.
Word.
And the reason why I like to, because some would say, well, this is kind of a weird spot. That's a weird scene. I like to give at certain points, almost like chapters of an adventure. That is what I consider a scene. And I like to give those experience points. So somebody rolls really bad and they want to spend an experience point from the journey, they can do that, and they can kind of use the experience points in the ways of traveling, things of that nature, instead of just leveling up.
Mhm.
So keep that in mind when you host your session with your table, if it's on the internet or in person. And for now, this is that was our big introduction to combat, and that'll be the end of this session. Please make sure to check out all of our stuff, see all of these maps. A lot of these maps we are going to be putting onto our Patreon, just like the Davokar world map. We'll make a little map pack for you guys and put it out there. And we will see you next session.
Yeah, and be sure to subscribe and follow us along, because we're going to be doing these deep dives as part of our TTRPG Discovery series. So, like every month, we're going to be delving into a different tabletop role-playing game and doing basically the same format that we've been doing here with Symbaroum, where we'll show you how to make a character and do a short little campaign to kind of showcase the game and so people can see how it plays.
Yep. But that's it for this session. Make sure to tune in next time as the party ventures further into the darkness of Davokar. Will their souls darken, or will they be the light that the forest needs?
One soul's darkening.
Killed by spiders. You know.
All right, folks.
Anything can happen in Davokar.
Yeah. Keep on adventuring, and we'll see you next time.